All right. Well, good afternoon, everybody. This is Angelo, Christian Financial, with another great edition of Real Estate Insider. Today, we have a very special guest with us here in Houston, Mr. Dr. Patrick Price of the Houston International Wellness Center. He's going to enlighten us on the coronavirus, how to protect ourselves, and also talk about some other things that he knows very well about, the emergence of the 5G network. And so, Doctor, thank you so much for joining the show today. We're obviously very honored and humbled to have you. I hope that you're doing well. Yeah, so I hope that everything's okay. And please, tell us a little about, first off, who you are, the type of medicine that you practice. I saw that you're into, it looks like you're into old world medicine, Tai Chi, holistic approach, how people can heal themselves. Very, very interesting things that I love. And you seem like you have a great spirit, a lot of energy. So I'd love to learn more about you.
Mm-hmm. Well, Angelo, let me start first. So I'm in the world of natural medicine. Been a doctor of chiropractic since 1996. Been a health advocate all my life. My father was an Olympic athlete. So sports and taking care of your body, your mind was pretty much in my family since a young kid. My own injuries and traumas led me to be in the field that I'm in today, to be a doctor of chiropractic. But let me tell you, when you become a doctor and you start seeing people in cases and you have unsolved mysteries, you start looking a little wider in your topic and your ranges of what you can apply to a human being. And so it's led me around the world to 7 different countries, and I also teach and lecture internationally. And so I started interviewing people around the world of natural medicine. Let's say people of heritage that are from the jungle, from South America, from North America, from the Middle East, from Europe, people that have been around from ages and ages, and made several discoveries over the years that so many things have been right in front of us all this time. But Western medicine, and this is not to knock Western medicine, because believe me, if you're in pain, take a painkiller. It works wonderful, right? You need a bacterial infection, take an antibiotic if you choose to. Those are still always your options. But natural medicine has always had answers to this for ages.
Okay.
And so I never stopped learning in my field. When I did postgraduate studies, I went on to learn about cancer, immune conditions, and degenerative diseases. And it led me into harmonic frequencies as well.
Okay.
When you talk about 5G today, I spent plenty of time researching with a guy, Robert Aviles, is now deceased. And I'd like to mention some of those things today if we have time of our research we did together. So being a martial artist, I beat up my body quite a bit. That's how Jeff and I know each other.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Right. And I basically lost the ability to use my legs years ago. And because of that traumatic injury, it took me many years to put my body back together.
Wow.
So It wasn't just chiropractic that did it either. It was a lot of things that people would not even imagine doing that I did to myself to heal myself.
I see. Wow. Okay. That's very, very interesting. So, the fact that, with where we are right now, and just so all the viewers know, you practice out of Houston, Texas, right?
Right. We have an international clinic. We see patients from around the world in our clinic here in Houston.
Okay. And are you off of Post Oak?
That's correct. We're close to the Galleria.
The
Galleria area.
Okay.
Right.
Gotcha. Okay. And so, what are some of we're obviously, you're talking about health and taking care of yourself right now. And the situation today, it's April 6, 2020. We're 3 weeks into this shutdown, so to speak, and, several months into this virus. What are some messages or some key things because we have probably about 50,000 followers on YouTube, a few 100,000 on Facebook, and everyone's freaked out of their mind right now, for the most part. In my business, my world, and we're in the financial markets; those are frozen. Banks don't want to make loans. I don't know. Is your office open right now?
It is. It is. Okay. We don't have any ban from the state or the government or on a local level at all. So as far as the wellness centers, we can still see people. Mm-hmm. And plus me, as a doctor, you make an obligation to see people. And most of our patients are quite ill. We don't see just a regular, my neck is in pain. We see people who have cancer and lupus and degenerative conditions. So they need our services still.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What are some key things because one of the things that I think is real important for today is some of the key outcomes that you want to accomplish by having this podcast today?
Well, one thing is a lot of people are misinformed about how to use natural medicine. And this is a key point today I like to make is first of all, is not to freak out, no matter what the TV tells you, is to just keep a level head and keep calm. This is a great time, I think, for people to reflect on their lives, what's important to them, spending time at home. Maybe they get to read more from an actual book again. Maybe they get to stretch, exercise in the home like my wife and I have been doing. So it's a key time to really assess your life and assess you. Instead of looking outside, you should need to look inside yourself and seeing the things that make you happy and unhappy right now.
Right.
And of course, the shortage of finance, money. Well, most of you should be stocked up on food and water and expect at least a month at home if everything shuts off, because this could happen. I have a lot of good sources in the military and other areas all over the planet. And so they give me very good information. And they said, at least food and water for a month, and expect even if your internet goes down, if electricity goes down, because expect the worst, and that way you'll be prepared for it.
Right.
And not that may happen, but the chance of us having martial law is still, that green light could go on. So
okay.
Just be prepared. And I'm not saying that to scare anybody. I'm just telling you to be prepared. That's all.
Okay. And doctor, what, just so, because I mean, there may be some people that don't know what martial law and what is martial law?
Well, basically, martial law is the end of the Constitution. If you look at Katrina in New Orleans when the hurricane hit, when the martial law is activated, that means the National Guard, the military come in, and that means the Constitution does not exist. And that means the military is now the leadership of the country, not the president. Okay, the president follows the Constitution. The martial law follows military domain. And so that means you have a curfew, you get up, maybe you're allowed to go to work, maybe you're not. My wife's from the Middle East, and Jordan is on lockdown right now. They cannot leave the house except to get extra food. One person can leave at one time, and this is the military shutdown, to go get food, supplies, and go home only a very short distance. And that means on foot. That means not driving your vehicle. If you have to go to emergency room hospital, you'll get a military support to go to the hospital.
Wow.
So it means the military has a right to come in your home, also confiscate weapons, guns, supplies as needed as well. If you look at what martial law is. So other countries who've had it, just look what happened to them.
Right. Okay. And so one of your key messages here is to definitely have enough food and water for the next month. Right. You're saying don't panic. You're saying stay calm. And show in a situation like this, what, as far as we're seeing obviously in the U.S. that the numbers are still climbing rapidly for the virus. People are dying left and right. A lot of people are getting the virus. What's your take? What's your thinking on that?
Well, I've talked to people who are plasma physicists, electronic communication engineers, environmental pollution engineers, people who are pretty much in the know and working on the forefront, not just my friends in the medical business. But I want to assure you that the virus that you're seeing is man-made. It is an artificial virus.
Oh, really?
This is not natural at all. In fact, this virus was created over 15 years ago in Europe. It went from Europe, it went to Canada, ended up in China. So this virus is nothing new. In fact, Johns Hopkins Hospital, if you look online, they ran a scenario just last year about if this became a pandemic, what they would do from a hospital setting. And so they knew last year, they ran stats on this, what would happen, how many people would die, these type of things. So remember this, viruses responding the way they do right now, this respiratory distress syndrome, they're calling it. And a lot of my MD friends are saying, this is not natural. So when your body looks like you've been starving from mountain climbing, you turn blue for not being able to get enough oxygen, and these respirators are not working, then it is something different. This is not responding to anything natural. Now, to make everybody relax a little bit is only just small over 1% of people actually die who get it here in the United States. If you look at our stats right now. So the chance of you actually dying from this virus are very low. Now you see in Spain and you see in France, you see more people dying on the streets, and there's reasons for that. But I want to make it very clear. The guy I talked to yesterday, this is a strain of HIV, SARS, and avian flu.
Wow.
There are 3 known strains right now of this virus. And it's really sad today that people have to create these type of bioweapons, if you will, and have these out in our environment. I really wish one day we would get smart enough to stop using these. But it seems to be what others tell me, this is not anything that happens by accident. But I want to let you know, is there ways to get your body healthier to not die from this virus? And I do want to discuss these things when they're ready.
Yeah, but I just want to make sure I understand so you're telling me that this virus is not from the Chinese and eating the bat. This is from man-made and some type of chemistry lab?
In the UK. First made.
Wow, really?
Right.
Wow. That's
and strangely enough, look how John Hopkins looked online and look how they did the scenario just last year. They ran a mock scenario of a pandemic.
okay.
Why would they do that?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so why, and I'm just curious, why would somebody create this? I mean, why would they want to hurt people?
Well, look at our history. Look at 1918, look at the Spanish flu.
Yeah.
World War II, all these different viruses are created. Now, if you look at your history, Project Paperclip, we brought the German scientists over here from Germany. A lot of people know about this. And suddenly we had cancer treatment for radiation. We had chemotherapy. We had the drug therapies really exploded. We had rocket scientists. We had all these scientists came here and became heads of these departments. And so bioweapons were created, we know, in Germany. Lyme disease was first created in Germany. It was first created to put in a tick and drop over the American troops to affect their animals, the horses who were carrying most of the artillery. And so they found out that it actually affected the men. And so there's a good book out there called Lab 257. A lawyer took these documents, these unclassified documents, and wrote a book and described all the bioweapons that were created here on an island called Plum Island in the United States. Mm. So what I've done over the years is when I know somebody in the area, they tell me to read a book. I've got a whole library of information about this now that I've read over and over for years, and it's easy for you guys to catch up on it.
Wow.
So Lyme disease, avian flu, all created in labs. All the different diseases you see get released onto the public, whether it is possibly by accident, seems to be planned events, even experiments on people. We've been experimented on as United States citizens since World War I. Mm. They spread the flu just to see if the Japanese would drop a scenario on us, what would happen to us along the California coast. And these are unclassified military documents that you can read just as much as I.
Wow.
So nothing new, guys. Nothing
that's
new.
Freaky, man. That scares the heck out of me. That's, well, I don't even know what to say. I mean, my mind is still trying to process everything that you're saying. So, now having said this, it seems like you have some solutions, or some remedies here that you want to kind of lead into. So,
right.
How can we as a nation, as a city, as a populace defend ourselves, from this?
Well, first of all, if you understand, you guys may not understand a virus. When a virus is in your body, if you take there was this machine years ago NASA used to use, and they hooked up around your hands, your neck, your feet, and they did a frequency checks of viruses in the body. And some people have up to 5 pages of viruses in their body. And this really opened my eyes years ago, back in probably the mid-90s. This device showed all the different mutated and man-made viruses that we carry just dormant inside our bodies. And most of these I never heard of. I didn't know we created but I do know that in the food industry, we create viruses to use to stop the deterioration of meat and poultry. So we've used viruses commercially for years as well. So with a virus, when a virus becomes active, it's because your body has a toxic overload. And this is probably the most important thing for you guys to understand. When you have so much of these genetically modified foods that lower your immunity, all these pesticides, insecticides, herbicides, metals in the air, hydrocarbons from your cars, the list goes on and on. There's a test I do in my office called an Enviro profile. It tests you for 172 environmental chemicals. It tests you for the herbicide Ready Roundup. It tests you for yeast, mold, and fungus in the body. And you'll see today, it's really amazing how much stuff we really have in our bodies. And so when you see all these things in your body, they basically are what we call the toxic overload. You overload your immune system. And so those people who are getting sick and dying are so loaded full of chemicals and pathogens in their body, their immune system is suffering. So when a virus becomes active, it's because your immune system has become suppressed. And so when a virus comes, it attaches to a cell. It injects its DNA and basically takes over that cell. Now, one thing, if you look, it's funny on the media, they say, don't buy silver. Silver doesn't work. Well, exactly, you should think the opposite, because nanoparticle silver, 10 ppb, down small to 1 nanometer. What happens is this virus, it goes attached. It gets in there and blocks the attachment to the virus to the cell. So the virus cannot inject its DNA to your healthy cells. So nano silver should be your ultimate first weapon in all these cases. A teaspoon, tablespoon, twice a day on an empty stomach, nanoparticle silver. And so if you look online right now, it's like you can hardly even find it. A lot of people already know this already, but try to find nanoparticle silver if you can, and that should be your first weapon of choice to stop these viruses from injecting their DNA into your healthy cells.
Wow.
First thing.
You're saying, take that first thing in the morning on an empty stomach?
First thing in the morning, empty stomach, right.
Okay.
And I've known about silver since I was in school. It's just an old, they used to use in the old days, the wagons have a big thing of water, and they put a silver nickel in there, and it basically stops the bacteria and viruses from infecting the water. They can't replicate.
Right.
That's colloidal silver, larger molecule size. You want the nano, which is very, very small in its size.
Right. Okay. And obviously you take that yourself, or?
Correct.
Okay.
I've given it to people's kids, to their dogs, the cats. All mammals can take this stuff.
Right. Okay, great. And so, all right, so that's fantastic news. Obviously I wasn't aware of that, and I don't think a lot of people are. So is there what's next? What's the next thing that we need to do?
Okay, I'll go down a protocol for you. First of all, I'm looking at viruses. We're not thinking about toxic metals, thinking just viruses. There's plenty of herbs out there, herbal mixtures that help with respiratory and viral issues. And basically, a lot of these can help stop the viruses from replicating or help your immune system rise high enough, because your immune system will defeat it if it's high enough. But if you have a huge toxic overload, one thing you can do is start doing basic cleanses to your body. Now, I don't recommend when people are already feeling ill to go into a heavy detox with your body. The one thing to do is clean your colon. I'm not here to promote my products, of course, but we have a magnesium product that has oxygen in it. Okay, it produces oxygen in the body to help cleanse out the digestive tract. And this is one thing, is ozone today is used, a lot of doctors do it to actually inject it into the body. This is an old technique from the late 1800s, ozone infusions. If you think you have the virus, find someone that will infuse your body with oxygen, but not just oxygen, O2, but O3. O3 destroys all pathogens in the body. It is your best defense of anything. That's why the purifiers in your home, you get these small little ones on Amazon, little ozone generators, and put them in each room of your house. This will clean your air. Mold, fungus, viruses, things like this. So ozone can be used to take internally, to inject it in the body and clean your home. But also when you get your fruits and vegetables in your sink, you can get these small little ozone generators, like $60-something, and ozonate your fruits and vegetables before you consume them. Makes them more fresh and also helps destroy pathogens.
Right. Wow. Okay. So, basically, that's a really important thing that you brought up. It's funny that you mentioned that. So, if you're saying you can purchase a humidifier, well, obviously,
not a humidifier, it's an ozone. They call them air purifiers.
Oh, air purifier.
Like ozone, O3, and those electrostatic, those cold plasma, electrostatic, different types of ozone machines.
Okay. And work. Do you sell those, or where can somebody purchase that at?
Just go to Amazon. Put on ozone air purifier, and from $70 to just over $100. But let me tell you, a lot of people have already been buying them all out. It's hard to find, but some are still there. Yeah. And then this detox thing, you're saying that's a huge thing that people. So because the colon, the stomach is is a mystery on its own, and you're saying that people need to be detoxing to try and get some of this stuff out of them, right? Right, because your colon is basically holding things. And so your small intestines, what happens is we get a mucus in our small intestines. All of us do. You get constipated. And this is because of all the bad foods out there. They're causing your immune system to go low. When you take just an antibiotic, when you eat food that has antibiotics they give them to the animal, they destroy your natural probiotics, your good aerobic bacteria in the gut. So one of the things to build your immune system right now is to take probiotics in the morning and the evening on an empty stomach. Start building your immune system as best you can. A lot of products like these have vitamin C in them. And so your vitamin C, 1,000, 2,000 milligrams every time you eat. Help your immune system come up. And like I said, there's plenty of different herbs. There's one company here at We Botanical that we use, and he has all kind of wonderful herb products that, once again, help your immune system. And then iodine, liquid iodine. Liquid iodine protects your lungs. Dr. Ward Dean, he's an ex-Delta Force doctor. He told us years ago in the late 80s that you need to use these type of products to help your immune system. Iodine. Now, most people can get the Lugol's, the red iodine, but the iodine, what has the potassium in it, is what the military uses. Because if there's any radiation poisoning, which is everywhere today anyway, it's going to affect your thyroid. Your thyroid absorbs the radiation. So iodine stops the radiation being absorbed into your iodine, but also it also protects your lungs. So if you're going to the store, getting on an airplane, you're traveling, you take a bunch of iodine before you go somewhere to help use as a lung protector.
I see.
That's another good source to use.
Okay. And are those just droplets you put on your tongue or what?
Well, you get like a cup of water. If it's a liquid iodine like this, iodine, potassium, it maybe take 10 drops in a glass of water.
I see.
If you have Lugol's, the red stuff from like the pharmacy, you can actually apply it on your skin, make like a little size patch. And if you need iodine, it will absorb right away, or it'll be there the next day if you don't.
Wow.
Most people are deficient in it.
Wow.
There's a pesticide called perchlorate, and basically it inhibits your body to absorb the iodine. So most people have this pesticide also in their body.
Oh my goodness.
Well, let me go down some more stuff since we're talking about it. I make profiles for myself in the office to go through patients. You need to get fat, an omega-3 in your body. That could be flaxseed, that could be a fish oil. Fats help clean the blood. It carries toxins outside the body as well. And what's a great fat everybody should have is olive oil. Everybody should be consuming olive oil every day right now. If you have any kind of bentonite clay, pascalite clays, those have been used for ages. A little bit of clay daily helps absorb chemicals in your body as well. The silver I mentioned, the probiotics, the iodine, enzymes, proteolytic enzymes. These are pretty popular these days. The first sign of any illness, handfuls of these proteolytic enzymes. What these do is the covering around the virus has like an enzyme form to it. And enzymes go up and eat up that coating since it's protein based, and it helps your immune system find the virus and actually kill it.
Wow.
Enzymes are very important, proteolytic enzymes.
Okay.
Activated charcoal, been used for a long time. Any kind of nausea you're having, not feeling well, it will absorb the toxins in the body. Diatomaceous earth, if anybody knows what that is, it's a white powder you can buy anywhere. The herbs I use have lots of golden seal root, olive oil, and this funny thing, this one herb called osha root, it went from $15 a pound, and guess how much it is now? $700 a pound right now. It went off the scale for people wanting to use this particular osha root because it is very powerful for the lungs.
Osha root, okay.
Osha root, yeah. Okay. Now we mentioned a few other things. So people should have coconut oil at home as well. Now it's not like an omega-3/6. What it does, it helps destroy pathogens.
Okay.
So one way every day is take a mouthful of coconut oil, hold it in your mouth for about 10 minutes. Also helps with infections you may have in your mouth, because inside the teeth is an easy way to get an infection.
Right.
So coconut oil, even olive oil, for about 10 minutes, 15 minutes, just hold it in your mouth every morning to clean your mouth and teeth out. That's a good way to start your day.
Okay. What's your thinking on, I've been reading, they said the gargling with salt. I mean, what do you think about that?
If you're going to use salt, use the Himalayan salt.
Himalayan salt? Okay.
Himalayan salt. Himalayan salt has 84 trace minerals. And what's most important, we're talking about frequencies now, is it has a certain frequency of Himalayan salt when it comes deep in the earth, when it's hand mined. There's a lot of fake ones out there today. But when you get the real stuff, it actually, when you measure the biofield, I'm talking about the aura of a human being, you take just a little bit of the salt water, because we take the blocks of the salt and soak it in water. And that way, overnight is 26% saturation rate. You can take that salt water and put it directly in your mouth.
Right.
84 trace minerals. What that does, it enhances the frequency of the body and makes your aura or biofield bigger. We'll talk more about that in a minute.
Okay.
But you want a big field because that means you're healthier, and that's an area of protection.
Wow. Okay. Now, I mean, let me ask you this though: if you're doing the coconut oil, could you replace that with doing the gargling with the Himalayan salt instead? I mean,
You could.
yeah.
One thing about gargling with the salt is I say just take the salt internally. Take about a teaspoon of the salt water.
Okay. I see.
Because it helps if your adrenal glands, helps if your body overall get into, because one thing we need minerals. It's not vitamins are great. They stop from having deficiencies, but we don't think about what's most important to rebuild your bones, rebuild your cellular tissue is minerals.
Okay.
And most people are deficient in minerals these days.
Right.
Look at all the bottled water. There's no minerals in that water.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. Now, the other thing that is important is your green foods. Now, I'll go down a list for you and tell you about them. You have a good green food formula. The certain green foods are much better at helping create oxygen inside the body. What is important is to create more oxygen from these phytonutrients. Spinach is a great one. Kale is another one. Chlorophyll, spirulina. These type of green foods are important to take every day right now in your diet. Wheatgrass, celery, cilantro, partially. Now, celery has been known, and partially, to absorb toxic metals in your body. So we're talking about those metals in the body. Those green foods are very good at sucking them up and taking them outside your body. Mm-hmm. So cilantro and partially have always been known for that. Now, oregano, if you look at anybody in the old world, they've used oregano for centuries. Oregano is one herb that actually can kill viruses. And so is garlic.
Okay, wow.
What kills viruses? Now, the medical world doesn't have a drug that kills viruses. They say Tamiflu does, but it's not a great destroyer of viruses. They have antibiotics, which do not affect viruses.
Right.
I don't know if you know this or not. Okay.
No. Yeah, I did. I've learned that through over time just by getting sick, and then doctors educating me and explaining that. So I think this is very powerful information. I didn't realize we're going to be covering all this. Is amazing information. So
back now that I forgot is I want to mention again is that mucus we talk about is from everyone has a lot of mucus in our small intestines. Mm-hmm. Okay, and this mucus is what they call biofilm. A lot of postgraduate work I studied about the gut quite a bit. A lot of great people out there with good information. And biofilm is the home of yeast, mold, and fungus. And so one thing that gets rid of this biofilm is adding the probiotics and adding the oxygen-type products to the body and removing the biofilm from your gut, because this will keep the pathogens active in your body. That will keep your immune system low. And the people who are dying right now from the virus is people who have low immune systems. There are young people dying also, very few, but those ones are very toxic with their bodies. I can promise you that. If I did a metabolite test with your urine test on their bodies, you'd see they'd have high levels of environmental toxins and probably high levels of pathogens. Right. So that's the difference of staying alive, guys, and dying right now is how toxic your body is.
Mm-hmm. That's that's extremely powerful. And this is a way you're saying it is reversible. And if people follow these steps, they can increase their probability of survival.
That is correct. That is what I'm saying. Because I have 3 people internationally now that I'm talking to every day who have this virus. And the thing is, some of them are young, some are a little older. And the only signs they have with this particular virus are they have a fever, they have their lymph nodes are all swollen in their neck, and they have low energy. So they have it's like they have the common cold or just a regular flu. They're not dying. They just feel very bad. Now, this probably will last about a month feeling this way. But they're all getting involved on the program as far as taking a cleansing action, taking herbs, taking probiotics, taking silver, things like this. And we'll monitor their progress and see how they do.
Okay. Now, talking on that now, because you mentioned a lot of stuff, and some of it probably to some people could seem overwhelming. Do you have a package, or people can they just come to you and you can get them signed up, or how does this work?
Sure. Well, if people want more information, and we gladly give our information out to whoever wants it, is they can contact us. My wife has a text message set up. She manages everything we do. Okay. She's my handler. Okay.
Yeah.
And I can if you want me to give her text, I don't mind. It's 832-930-4365.
Okay. So people can actually reach out to you, and they don't have to be in Houston. They can be anywhere, right?
No, we're set up to handle things globally because we do just like this through Zoom, through Skype, and we have patients all over the world now because I teach basically in 7 different countries.
Wow.
And so when I go, I meet patients who can't get information they have there. Because unfortunately, Western medicine has taken over certain parts of the world. And like when I go to the Middle East, Western medicine is king. Now, like I said, I'm not putting it down. It's necessary. But what I'm saying is they're suppressing natural medicine. When I go to Jordan, I go to Egypt, it's very hard to find natural medicine. The only places you find it are in the markets where they sell the herbs. And so they tell people, oh, you don't need that anymore. You need these drugs. This is the way to get you better. So those people all have digestive problems now because of this.
I see.
You keep taking antibiotics over and over. 1 round of antibiotics can destroy your gut for up to 2 years.
Wow.
If you apply probiotics. 1 round.
Wow.
Most animals, most meat you're eating has growth hormones, has antibiotics, has many chemicals to make that animal what it is. So you're consuming it already.
Okay. So, I mean, you keep bringing up food and diet. So what's I got to ask you. So, I mean, obviously, should people stay away from like these type of beefs and chickens and porks and alcohol? What's your take on all this?
Well, I'll tell you that there's 3 main things right now you need to be careful of. If you're consuming sugar, artificial sweeteners, even the cane sugar, maybe too much of fruit, it's still fructose, it's still the sugar, still has an effect on the body. I would greatly reduce my sugar because what feeds all these pathogens? Sugar. Sugar feeds cancer cells, feeds viruses, feeds all the pathogens.
Okay.
So if you want them to stay healthy in your body, then feed them. If you want to starve them, cut off the sugar.
Okay.
They can have, now I wouldn't say even honey, agave out there, xylitol, stevia. There's many different types of stevia. These are all, and monk fruit's a new one on the market now for people. These are healthy sugars, guys.
Right.
Please stop the sugars right now.
Stop sugar. Okay.
Yeah, and even wheat. Now, if you're eating lots of bread, be careful. Lots of glyphosate, the weed killer, Ready Roundup. If you test your urine, you'll see your glyphosate levels may be off the scale. Now, what does glyphosate do? It's pretty simple. When they apply it on the plants, on the wheat, it makes the bug stop eating, and that's how they die. It destroys their stomach, and that's how the bug stops eating. So if it stops the bug's stomach from working, what do you think it does to you?
Right.
Basically the same thing. It destroys your good bacteria in your gut. And that's how you have a gut problem from the glyphosate. So wheat, go to gluten-free stuff if you can. The other thing is if you're drinking lots of dairy right now, I would avoid dairy. Dairy has lots of growth hormone in it, and your body can react to it as a sugar and still feed the bad pathogens. Go to almond milk, go to hemp milk, go to coconut milk.
Coconut milk, yeah. Okay. Wow, that's very powerful. Okay, wow, this is incredible. I think this is very enlightening to people to listen to this today. Obviously, we'll have all your contact information on the podcast as well. And I know you also wanted to talk about this 5G thing as well, Doctor. So,
right.
Do we need to be concerned about this or spooked, or is it a good thing? Is it going to help the world, or what?
Well, let me be real clear with you, Angelo. This is not my field of study.
Yeah.
But I've been involved with lots of people who it is their field of study. Electronic communication engineers, this is their field of study. Plasma physicists, this is their field of study. And I've done my own research with a guy, like I said, Robert Aviles, who developed harmonic frequencies to sound. And just briefly talk about that. He found out through creating harmonic frequencies through sound, he used an electric violin, 7 strings, even an 8 string, to create a frequency that harmonized all the organs in the body and made your biofield bounce out about 10 feet.
Okay.
He also used these sonic formulas to put together bonds, carbons, in a molecular formula, and all the different molecular structures you see, and use musical tones to harmonize a field to create a drug. He actually created the drug Lunesta, the sleeping drug, through sound.
Ah, wow.
So this was beyond anybody's imagination because he was a he had medical knowledge and he had musical knowledge, and he applied that to create these chips.
Jeez.
So think about if he created the drug Lunesta, he could also create the drug cyanide. My point? So it could be used as a weapon. And that's what an engineer told him, says, you also have a weapon. And so it really terrified him because this guy really loved people and we really wanted to help people. But he realized you can use sound to actually harm people. Now, today, I could not find it. I have a device I was going to play for your show today, but I couldn't find it at the moment. And we used it from back then. I could simply create a sound right now, and you would get nauseated and feel sick right now. I only play it for about 5 seconds because you wouldn't feel well. And we just want to prove to people how sound can make you ill. So when you talk about 5G, you're talking about levels of 2.4 gigahertz and above. You're talking very high frequencies. And these are short range, maybe 800, 1,000 feet they may reach, but they're very terrible for the body. Now, the military uses up to 60 gigahertz. Now, what does that mean? Well, I want to read something for you. A unit of measure of the density of a field is a milligauss, right? And then you have gigahertz. It's a measurement of alternating currents, which measures electromagnetic frequencies up to 1 billion hertz. Now, what does that mean? 1 hertz, if you look at 1 hertz, if you drop a pebble in the water, how many ripples it makes in 1 second is a hertz. Your brain works in delta wave when you sleep, 0 to 1 hertz. Okay. Above that goes to a theta wave, goes to an alpha wave, goes to beta wave, which is up to 30 hertz. That's that many waves of sound, a frequency, a wave of energy more or less, in 1 second. Imagine 1 billion in 1 second. That's a gigahertz. So if you look at 2.4 gigahertz up to 60 gigahertz, what is that doing to the body? All right. So I asked that question to many people in this field. So, well, one thing's pretty simple. What high radio frequencies can do is can give you flu-like symptoms. It can make your body begin to detox itself too fast. It can make your toxins begin to spew out of the cell. But what higher hertz can do to the body is it can stop you from getting oxygen. It can make the oxygen molecule spin so fast, the hemoglobin cannot attach to the iron. What that means, you will be deprived of oxygen. Now, I'm not saying that's what this is, but that is exactly what some people's symptoms are in these hospitals, especially in New York with a lot of sick people. The doctor said the other day, he says, people look like they've been high altitude sickness. They cannot, and the respirators are not helping, they cannot get oxygen in their body. Well, there's a few things that cause that, and one thing is high frequency radio waves. So does that help clear that up a little bit?
Yeah. So basically you're saying that in an effort to make communication better, some of the repercussions or ripple effects of this is it could spur on more people's illness, and it's actually could cause more harm than good.
Right. Now, it's not, I'm making a point to say it's not causing it, but it can make it worse.
Okay.
In areas like Spain and France, when you see high levels of people ill, and Wuhan over in China, these are areas that 5G was activated during the time. So it definitely helped, I'm sure, assisted things to get worse. Yeah.
So it seems like some of the lessons that we've learned today, that through technology and some of the things that some of the benefits that we enjoy, such as mobile phones, Western medicine, there's also side effects. Right.
Well, the thing is, you got to ask this, Angelo. You got to ask, what's the benefit of 5G to you and I? Is it really that much faster? Is it really going to make our video games work better? Possibly. But what's the real benefit? Who has the benefit from 5G? Is it you and I, the consumer? It is not. 5G, who's going to benefit is by data transfer. When you have tons of data information, if I point to 5G, which it can be directed, I can direct it right at you in public. And just like China, you got facial recognition. They can pull up your credit history just looking at you. So data transfer, multiple just gobs of information, 10 times faster can do data transfer, but also it gives the opportunity for artificial intelligence to run our world. We have smart meters, smart TVs, smartphones, and now we're going to have smart cities run on artificial intelligence. And so to me, this is just laying out the ground level, laying out artificial intelligence and huge data transfer for others than you and I. It's not a benefit for you and I.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay. So you think so you're basically, what you're saying is that with this data transfer, it's allowing Big Brother to gather more information.
It has more of a military impact than it does a civilian impact.
Wow.
And that's not me. This is the information I've gathered from others, since this is
Yeah.
not my field of study, but
Yeah.
it is more of a military. And when I try to talk to friends who are in the know of this area, I talk about especially the 60, like they want to use it in hotels in the future because it has civilian use now. 60 gigahertz. Think about this. Civilians can use this now. Not only can they look in a hotel and see who's in the catering room, it can count how many people and who they are in the room using this type of technology. So they're saying it's not to invade your privacy, it's just to make sure and count who's there. So that means you can be on the other side of the planet using Alexa and says, by the way, who's in our meeting room? It can tell you who and how many people from using this type of 60 gigahertz technology. Wow. So it is definitely not a technology that I'm in favor of being spied on, because it's more of a military application.
Wow. Wow, that's insane, man. Yeah, that's some crazy stuff. Well, one of the things that I wanted to kind of hit back on before we wrap this up is going back to the virus and people taking care of themselves. I mean, what do you have any prediction of when you think this is all going to come back to an end, where you get back to what we're used to, the world? You see post COVID that things they normalize, we stabilize. What's your prediction the rest of the year?
Well, I know this since there seems to be, from my intel, that there's 3 different strains of this virus. And like I'm saying, it's not natural, so the body doesn't know really what to do with something that's not natural and enters the body. South Korea basically opened up their cities a little too soon, and so you are seeing the spread of it again. And so, it's hard to really predict what's going to happen, because whoever allowed this to come out, however it got spread, natural ways, this virus looks and appears to be not spread naturally. So if this is happening, this could go on for a long time. I mean, there are powers to be, as we've been predicted by many people over the years. There's speakers out there, Stuart Swerdlow, David Icke, many conspiracy type people, but they give you extreme details to say, hey, this is on purpose. This is to crash the global economy and make us go to a global currency to get rid of the dollar. And that means hurting all of us economical wise. So I want people to basically today wake up and realize there's more at stake than what you're seeing in front of you. The virus, to me, seems to be more of a cover story to distract you from what's really happening. And this is where my focus is what's coming next. What's going to happen to the global world that we live in as human beings next? And this, no one really knows.
So, I mean, you're just so right now you're just taking it day by day, trying to take care of your health, trying to take care of your patients. But
like today, before I talk to you, my wife and I are sitting outside on our patio. What little sunlight we have today, it's kind of overcast. We're getting some sunlight, enjoying our day.
Yeah.
Because UV light in 1918 with the Spanish flu, they found the best results they had were putting people in open air hospitals and getting sunlight.
Yeah.
UV light will help destroy bacteria, viruses, things like that.
Yeah.
So get some sunlight when you can.
Right. Okay. Well, man, you have really opened my mind. I think I'm going to definitely make an appointment to come see you. And I would encourage everyone that's watching this today, and when we get this out there, to give you a call, because, I mean, you've really, really given me a different perspective on how to think about this. And a lot of these things that you mentioned as far as the health side, we do follow. And I think that there's a lot of people that don't do that. And you're right, increases their probability to be at risk to get the virus. Your health, that's why I'm on a treadmill 10 hours a day, just trying to take care of my health and my body. And it's extremely important to do that. So it's been very, very nice to talk with you. I look forward to meeting you in person and coming to I live in Memorial, so I'm right down the street from you, from your practice. Right. So we'd love to come see you. And man, thank you so much for sure. Is there any other final thoughts or any takeaways, anything you want to tell the world?
Sure. The final thought. This final thought should apply to everyone, no matter where you are on the planet today, is everyone out there is aware of taking care of their body, now aware of cleansing these things. But the most important thing over all this is where your mind is right now. Because when you create fear, when you get scared, You start mistrusting things around you. You lower the frequency of the body. 62 to 68 hertz is your normal body. When you lower your body's frequency, other things like viruses, cancer cells, candida, they work on lower vibrations, 40 to 50 hertz in that range. If you can take care of your mental state, be happy, be joyful, do yoga, tai chi, play cards, meditate, pray, whatever it works for you to raise the vibration of your body where your mind is clear right now, that is the number one weapon that you have of your own to control. If you let the media control your mind right now, you are not in charge of your life. You need to control your thoughts by having good positive thoughts, and that will keep your vibration and keep your field healthy, and that is the best thing you can do right now.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Wow, that's very spiritual, very powerful. Thank you so much, Doctor, for being on the show today. We'll definitely get this produced, have all your information on there. Guys, please give Dr. Patrick Price a call. You have all his information on the website, his contact. You can text them to or call that number. And they also, like he said, they're available worldwide, globally to service you. So whether you don't have to be in Houston, Texas, he's talking about some very powerful things for you to preserve your health, to get through this coronavirus. We're all in this together. So, Doctor, thank you so much for being on the show today.
All right, thank you, Angelo.
Okay. Bye. Take care. Thank you. Take care. Cheers.
All right, bye-bye.